Hello. Welcome to Waynesville Yoga Studio. This is Abbie. I haven't seen you guys in a couple of weeks. So I'm glad to be back teaching in class for you guys. So hope you're having a good week and hope your time at home hasn't been too stressful. Hope you're getting outside a lot and doing lots of fun things with your families. So anyway, today we're just going to do a slow flowing in with a little bit of restorative mixed in. So just settle in on your mat. I only have a blanket for a prop today, so if you want to get a blanket or blankets, bolsters, maybe just a towel or a pillow, whatever you have at home is totally fine. So we're just going to settle in here in your easy seated pose. Let your knees just relax down towards the floor, and your sits bones, just let them relax into the mat, and just let everything on your lower half of your body feel super heavy. We'll close our eyes as we get started, and I'll walk you through. So just begin to feel your breath in your body. Your hands can be in your lap, they can be on your knees, palms up or down, it doesn't matter. Whatever feels comfortable for you and your body. So breathing gently, starting to increase your inhales and exhales, making them a little bit fuller, a little bit deeper. Inhaling through your low belly and through your ribs, seeing if you can expand from the front to the back. And both sides coming out, making yourself nice and round and filled up with air. Inhaling all the way up through to your collarbones. And then exhaling fully. Squeezing all the air out of your body, pulling your belly button into your spine. Inhaling again, let's do it together. Inhale through low belly, ribs, all the way up to chest. Pause at the top, and then exhale fully, squeezing your belly button into your spine. One more time, inhale low belly, ribs, and chest all the way to the top, really filling up with air. Pausing at the top, and exhale fully, all the way out. And when you exhale, make sure your belly button is coming into your spine and you're tucking your ribs down and your pelvic floor is coming up. So it's a lot to think about all at once. But think about that as you exhale. Let's do one more nice big breath. And exhale. Squeezing in your belly, tucking your ribs, pulling up your pelvic floor. So this time we're going to inhale, look up. And exhale, look down, tucking your chin, not rounding your spine. Nice long spine. Inhale up. Exhale down, the same thing, tucking your chin, shoulders are back, spine is nice and long and tall. And this time we're going to bring our arms alongside, inhale up. Exhale, open through cactus arms, expanding through your chest. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, cactus arms. And last time, inhale up. Exhale, cactus arms, and open through your chest. Exhale, and then bringing your arms to the side. We're going to inhale, reach up, opening through your arms, your chest, your shoulders. Clasping palms, exhaling, coming down through center. Placing your thumbs right at your heart space, bowing your forehead. Begin to set an intention for your practice, something to guide you through this next hour. And then inhaling our arms straight back up to the ceiling. And then exhale, twist to the side, bringing your left hand to your right knee, twisting around. Inhaling, reaching both arms back up. And exhale, other side. Twisting around, using your hand behind you for traction. And then inhaling back up, coming back through center. And exhale, let your hands rest down to your sides. So continuing to warm up our necks, our upper bodies. Bring your hands interlace behind your head. And just gently let them rest behind your neck. So we're going to inhale, look up. And exhale, without pulling, just look down and let your hands provide just some gentle traction. So your spine is not rounded, it's nice and straight. And then inhaling up. And then exhale one last time here. And then let your arms drop back down to your lap. Realigning your spine. Look up back to neutral spine. And then place your hands on your shoulders. We're going to begin to warm up our shoulders a little bit. So your elbows come in towards each other and then up as they start to open, opening through your shoulders, coming around. You can start with a rather small range of motion and then increase as you go along. So letting your breath match your movements. And then let's switch directions, going the other way. And last time around. And then inhale, sweeping up. And this time exhale, right hand to the mat, opening through your left side body. You can stay here with your arm up, or you can come all the way down to your elbow. Just make sure your left hip stays on the mat as well. So once you're here, opening up through your side and looking up towards the ceiling if you can. And then one more breath here. And then exhale. We're going to inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come into the other side. You can stay up here on your hand, or you can come all the way down to your elbow, just making sure that your right hip is on the ground just as much as your left. Opening through your right side body and breathing and seeing if you can even open it up a little bit more, looking towards the ceiling maybe. If that hurts your neck, you can always look neutral or look down. And then inhaling, coming up. And exhale, walk your hands forward. I'm running out of stage here, but walk your hands forward. You can come down to your elbows and just rest here for a few breaths. And then inhale, walk your hands back in, super slow. We're going to switch the direction of our feet. And then inhale, sweeping up. And exhale, same thing, come forward. Walk your hands out as much as you can. If you want a little extra opening in your upper back and shoulders, you can just walk your hands out with your elbows up. Or you can let your elbows relax down to the ground and just rest your head. Maybe if you have a block or a pillow nearby. And then coming back up. And then just cross right over your knees and come into tabletop. So your wrists are aligned with your shoulders and your knees are aligned with your hips. Opening through your palms fully, pressing fingertips and palms evenly into the mat, taking pressure out of your wrist. We're going to inhale to cow. And exhale, cat. Squeezing your belly button to your spine. Back and forth. On your own breath. And last time, inhaling cow. And exhale, cat. So you're going to start to come into a figure 8, just warming up our whole body, starting to get into our hips a little bit. So you're going to pull through to your left hand, right hand, and then left hip, right hip. So just taking your time, moving slowly, maybe even closing your eyes, feeling it fully in your body. And then last time there, we're going to switch directions. So right hand to left hand, and then right hip to left hip. And again, that's right hand into left, and then right hip, left hip. So again, take your time here. Feel these movements fully in your body, breathing. And then one more time. And then coming back into tabletop. Take your right leg, traction it on your mat, push into your foot and open up through the back of your heel, your Achilles, your calf. You can remain here in stillness. You can move your foot back and forth from big toe to pinky toe. And then switch legs when you're ready. And then taking your knees nice and wide, we'll come into a little child's pose here for a few breaths. So just letting your hips settle back towards the mat. And if you need a blanket to place under your hips, feel free to do that. Walking your hands out, we're going to take about 10 breaths here. Letting your upper body fully melt into the mat, letting your belly expand on inhales. And 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, walking your hands over to the right, pushing your left hip down, opening through your left side body. Relaxing your forehead down to the mat or prop if you can. And taking a big inhale here. And exhale through center. And then inhale other side, walking your hands around to the left, pressing your right hip into the mat, opening through your right side body. Forehead to the mat. And then inhaling And exhale back through center. Walk your hands out just a little bit more in front of you, bringing your knees back, coming into puppy pose. So your arms are reaching along out in front of you, opening through your upper back, your chest, your neck. Hips are up off the ground. 3 big breaths right here. And then coming back up to tabletop. And we're going to thread the needle. We're going to inhale, reach your arm all the way up, stretching up. And exhale, swing it through, thread the needle. And one last breath. Slowly coming up, taking your time. And then inhale, left arm reaches up. And exhale, swing it through. Thread the needle on this side, about 5 breaths. And one more big inhale here. And exhale. Bring your right hand alongside, coming back up into tabletop. We're going to start to do a little gentle flow here. Take your time, move slowly. Do what you can and don't exert. So from tabletop, pushing into your first downward facing dog. Make it nice and gentle. Let your knees be soft. Walk your dog back and forth. So place one leg down at a time and rotate your foot in and out. Big toe to little toe. And then switch feet. And then we're going to inhale all the way up onto our toes. And exhale, settle, heels towards the mat, tailbone reaching to the sky, shoulders are nice and broad. 3 breaths here. And then we'll begin some slow, easy sun salutation. So walking your feet up towards the front of your mat. Templing your fingers, taking your time, feeling the opening in the back of your legs. Once you get to the front of the mat, just an easy forward fold here. So feet are about hip distance apart, knees are slightly bent, and just let your upper body hang. Maybe some gentle rock side to side. And then drop your arms down to the ground if you were holding elbows, and then start to slowly roll up. Knees are soft. 1 vertebra at a time, slowly coming up. Come all the way to standing and start to roll your shoulders up, back and down a few times. And then sweeping arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Arms sweep up, inhaling. Exhale, fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg comes back, low lunge. Top of the foot is flat. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. And exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, left leg comes back. And exhale, modified plank coming down all the way to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, pulling up and forward. And exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, push up through tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. Few breaths here. One more breath. Again, walking our feet back to the front of the mat. Templing fingers, one foot at a time, opening through your back body, your legs, your hamstrings. Same thing here, feet can be as wide apart as you'd like them to be, and forward fold. Slowly coming up, one vertebra at a time. Knees are nice and soft, just warming up our bodies still. Coming all the way up, shoulders reach up, back and down. And exhale. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, fold. This time, inhale, left leg comes back, low lunge. Top of your foot on the left is flat. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale to modified plank or full plank if you'd like. Exhale, down to the mat. Inhale, pulling forward and up, baby cobra. And exhale down. And then inhale, pushing back up through tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Few breaths here. And this time, walk your hands to your feet. Forward folding here. Inhale, slowly coming up, one vertebra at a time. Coming all the way into mountain pose. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Walking your hands back out. Coming back into your downward facing dog. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit on my mat. So inhale, right leg comes up. Breathing here, just a few breaths. Foot can be pointed or flexed. Left heel lowers towards the mat. And then bend your right leg and open up your side body to the right. Inhaling back to straight. And exhale, swinging it all the way through, coming into pigeon. Make your pigeon work for you. Use your props around you for modifications. Hips are square to the mat. Leg is out in front of you. Feel free to stay here for a few breaths, or you can start to come down onto your elbows, all the way onto the mat, whatever you'd like. I'm going to take a few breaths here and kind of work my way down. I'm going to set my timer. We'll be here about 1.5 minutes or so. So taking this time to really just close your eyes, to settle into the pose, to make this pose work for you. So I encourage you with every exhale to settle into the pose a little bit more, to breathe into your spaces that need a little extra attention. Releasing and softening anywhere that you can. We're about 45 seconds in, so we're about halfway through, so just breathing here. Continuing to come towards the mat if you like the way that feels, if it feels okay for your body. Let's take 3 more big deep breaths here. And then beginning to come up slowly, taking your time. Bringing your leg back into tabletop. Taking a moment here to shake your hips left and right. Looking back towards your toes. Coming back into tabletop. Lifting back into downward facing dog just for a brief moment. Lifting that right leg, the same leg, right back up to the sky. Give it a little shake. Rotate your ankle around, spread your toes. Start to give your legs some nice wide circles. And then switch directions. And then bring that leg back down to the mat. Start to walk your hands towards your feet again. Forward fold here. And then coming up slowly, soft knees, taking your time, 1 vertebra at a time. Coming into mountain pose, squeeze your shoulders up. And exhale, sigh. Let's do that again. Inhale up. And exhale, release. Inhale, reaching up, sweeping up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, little back bend if you'd like. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And fold. Walking your hands back out. Downward facing dog once again. This time, inhale, left leg sweeps up. And exhale, let your right foot, your right heel come back towards the mat. Open up through your left leg, your left side body. Look to the left. And then inhale back through center. And exhale, swing it all the way through for pigeon on this side. Notice the difference between sides. It may not be much difference. It might be pretty drastic. This side is way tighter for me, so I'm going to take a few more moments, a few more breaths to pause to get into the pose a little deeper. We'll be about 1.5 minutes on this side, so pause, take your time. Make sure your hips are as even as possible. You You can close your eyes and just start to settle into the pose. Moving on exhale if you choose, or you can remain up on your hands. Feeling your breath on inhales go straight to any areas where you may need a little extra softening, a little extra attention. Letting go as much muscle involvement as you can. About 30 more seconds here, breathing. Always coming up as an option. Moving away from your edge if you need to. Always remember you've got options to lessen the intensity of any opening or any stretch in yoga. And then 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, starting to come up, taking your time, moving slowly, coming back into your tabletop just briefly. And when you're ready, pushing back into downward facing dog one last time. Setting it up the best you can, paying attention to your body, your alignment, what works for you. And then your left leg, the same leg, reaches back up to the sky. And start to rotate your ankle, open your toes. Start to do some nice big knee circles. Switching directions. And then bringing your leg back down, taking one more breath here. And then exhale, lower to your knees. Lay all the way down onto your belly. Coming into Sphinx pose. So your elbows are underneath you. Pulling out of your shoulders, forward and up. Coming into Sphinx. Pausing here for a few breaths. Nice little easy back bend. You can always lower down if that's too intense for you. More like a baby cobra. And if it feels okay, bend your knees up. It deepens the intensity of the back bend just a little bit. If it feels like it's too much, go ahead and lower your legs. And from here, if you want to play and try bow pose, you can grab your legs and come into bow. Or you can stay in Sphinx if that feels better. Wherever you are, come all the way down to the mat. Rest your cheek onto the mat. And just give yourself a little shake, a little grounding. And then switch your head to the other side. And then we're going to come into a bit of a shoulder opener. We won't be here for long. So let's bring your left arm out to your side, and it can be cactus arm. It can be all the way out at 90 degrees, or it can be down a little bit. Depends on your shoulder mobility, your shoulder flexibility. So start to roll up onto your left hip, opening through the front of your left shoulder. And then I like to place my right leg behind and kind of kickstand it up for a little balance. And then you can just place your head directly on the mat, or you can use a blanket here. So just take a few breaths here. If you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, feel free to do that. If you're ready to move, you can start to come back onto your belly. Let's rest our forehead and bring your legs up and windshield wiper back and forth. And then we're going to go into the other side. So your right arm comes out to the side at a 90-degree angle, or it can be lowered down a little bit, or you can bring it into cactus arm. It's up to you, whatever feels good in your body. And then start to roll up onto your right hip. And when you're ready, come back onto your belly. And then from here, we're just going to roll all the way over onto our backs. And once you get here, pull your knees into your chest. Take a moment to pause, feel your spine fully on the mat. You can rock side to side, back and forth. You can just stay on the mat in stillness. And then take one knee in each hand and start to do some nice wide knee circles. And then switch directions. And then let your knees come away from your body, still holding your knees in your hands. And just give yourself a little rock side to side, getting into your lower back a little bit, your hips. And then lowering your legs down, take your right leg across your left leg into a figure four. Flex your foot to protect your knee. And just breathe right here, just a few breaths. I like to take my right hand and kind of traction and open my right hip a little bit, just gently so it feels good, not hurting. If you're happy staying here, feel free to stay right here if this is enough of an opening for you. If you'd like to come on up, start to raise your left foot. So either hold, you can interlace your fingers if it's easier, either hold behind your left hamstring or in front of your left shin, just not on your knee. And then you can always use your right elbow to open your right hip if that feels good. Breathing here about 5 breaths. Relaxing shoulders down, letting your back melt into the mat. And one more breath. Lowering your leg down on exhale. Bringing your right leg up and bringing it to a half happy baby. So just letting your knee fall towards your armpit. Just opening here. You can let your left leg come out straight if that feels okay, if it doesn't feel too intense. And you can just give it a little rock side to side. squeezing that right leg in. Your left leg is now long on the mat. I'm going to scoot a little bit to the right side of my mat. Inhaling here. And exhale, bring that leg all the way across, coming into a twist. Open your body back up to the right. You can open your arms in cactus arms or straight out 90 degrees, whatever feels good to you. If you have a blanket nearby, you might want to place it under your knee just so you're not having to hold it. Take some nice big deep breaths here. Just let your body fully settle in to the pose, fully relaxing in. And then 2 more big breaths here. And then slowly unwinding your body, bringing your right leg back up, realigning your spine on the mat. Let's bring both knees in again and just give yourself a little rock. And then stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Your knees are nice and soft. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling and just begin to rotate. Again, your back is fully on the mat, feeling nice and heavy and grounded. Your feet, your hands, feeling nice and light and airy. Switch directions if you're rotating wrists and ankles. And if you'd like, just take a moment to pause, just feeling the weightlessness in your hands and your feet. Kind of like legs up the wall. And then bring your knees back down to the mat. Your feet are flat on the mat, your knees are bent up. This time left knee comes up, figure 4. Left leg comes up. And then you're going to flex your left foot to protect your knee. Pause here for a few breaths. Again, I like to use my left hand to kind of push my left hip out for some gentle traction. Just encouraging some soft opening in that hip before you begin to move any further. And if you'd like to stay here, that's perfectly fine. If you're ready to move, you can begin to pick up your right foot, bringing it towards your chest. Again, holding behind your right hamstring or in front of your right shin. Using your left elbow to traction your leg again if you like the way that feels. It's not too intense. Again, be gentle with your body. Breathing here about 5 full breaths. like for a little bit longer, or if you're ready to come out, you can bring your right foot back down towards the mat. Bringing your left knee into a half happy baby. So you can stay here with your leg bent up, or you can start to lower it down to the ground. Giving a gentle rock or just staying in stillness. And then bending your knee, pulling your left knee into your chest. And then again, I'm going to adjust myself on my mat, pulling to the left a little bit. Inhaling here. And exhale, let your left leg come across you, coming all the way onto the right side of your body. Again, using your blankets here if you need to. Coming into a twist, bringing your right shoulder around underneath you a little bit more, and then opening your arms up left to right. Breathing here, fully letting go into the mat. Doing a body scan, noticing anywhere you may be holding. Intentionally telling yourself to let that area go, just to soften, breathing right into those spaces. And 2 more big deep breaths here. And when you're ready, coming back onto your back. Letting your knees float side to side. Making every movement fluid, making it a moving meditation. And one more time each side. We have just a few minutes left here. We're going to do one final pose. So rolling onto your left side, starting to slowly make your way back to seated. This is the last one. So coming into seated, again, taking your time, moving slowly, coming into a square pose, which is another hip opener. So left leg comes in front of you, and your shin is going to be as straight in front of you as possible. You will see that I have to modify this pose on both sides. And then your left leg comes onto, or your right foot comes onto your left knee. And so you're kind of in easy seated pose here, or half lotus, but you're bringing your legs out further in front of you, and so your shins are square. And then you have a nice triangle here. So this is a pretty intense hip opener sometimes. So just make your way into it the best you can. Elongate your spine, maybe even pull your shoulders up. And then exhale them down, thinking about pulling your shoulder blades towards each other, opening through your chest. Taking just a few moments here to breathe into this pose. If it's too intense, again, placing blocks or blankets, anything you may need underneath you. Calling to mind your intention again, if that helps. Paying attention to your breath. Breathing right into those spaces in your hips or wherever your body is feeling some tension right now. Instead of trying to fight the pose, just soften into it and let the pose work on your body. And taking 3 more breaths here. Really letting go where you can. Enjoying these nice full breaths and our body's ability to breathe. To bring calmness into ourselves, into our souls, into our minds. And then slowly starting to unwind, bring your legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. We'll come into a brief caterpillar, so that's basically a seated forward fold. So your feet are just neutral, not flexed or pointed. If you like to have a blanket under your hips, feel free to do so. Inhaling up. And exhale, come down, make this nice and gentle, don't over push. Settle in, soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw, the skin around your face. Just let your head start to hang towards your knees. One final big deep inhale here. And exhale. On your next inhale, pulling your belly button to your spine, slowly walking your hands in and up. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So this time, right leg comes square in front of you. And then your left foot on top of your right foot, coming into square pose on this side. Again, noticing the difference between sides, modifying where you need to, placing blankets or props wherever you can, if that helps your body to settle into the poses. So find your version of square pose. Start to settle in, nice long tall spine. Squeeze your shoulders up on inhale. And then just release on exhale. Letting your shoulders fall, opening through your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades gently back towards each other. Your hands can be wherever is comfortable. Breathing into the pose for a few moments. Softening through your jaw. Softening through your hips, just allowing your body to melt, to open where it can. Sending those nice loving breaths right where you need them. And 2 more nice deep breaths. And last breath, inhale. And exhale, release. Starting to come out of the pose slowly. Taking your time, leaning into your hands, letting your knees come up. Shifting your hips to the right, looking left. And then shifting your knees to the left, looking right. And then coming back to center, starting to slowly lay down on the mat. Doing any last little movements you'd like to do before you get ready to do your Shavasana. So maybe a plow, maybe a shoulder stand, maybe just pulling your knees into your chest, whatever it may be. And when you're ready, setting yourself up for Shavasana, placing a blanket on top of yourself, anything heavy or weighted you might have, some bean bags or sandbags or just blankets if you have them at home. Just anything to ground your body. And I really encourage you to take this time for Shavasana. It gives yourself time to absorb your practice, to process it, to continue to breathe, to just relax fully into the mat. Shavasana is so, so important. So you're going to take these last few moments together, just breathing, fully resting into the mat. Let your eyes relax back into their sockets. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth and let it float down to the bottom of your mouth, opening through your throat. Part your teeth, let your jaw open. Releasing your neck and your shoulders, bringing them down your body. Letting your spine relax fully onto the mat, all the way down into your hips. Letting go of any tension in your belly. Letting your hips relax into the mat all the way down into your toes. Feeling nice and weighted and heavy in your back body. Light and airy on the top body. Taking a few moments just to breathe, just for yourself. Just taking the time to reset, it's so important. feeling the air current on your skin. Getting to invite some soft movements back into your body. If you'd like to, reach your arms up overhead for a nice lazy wake up stretch, pointing your toes, stretching in both directions. And then exhaling, releasing, rolling onto your favorite side. Resting your head. Recalling your intention. Remembering to be gentle with yourself, your mind, your body. Finding gratitude for taking this time to show up on the mat, to recharge yourself. And when you're ready, start to slowly make your way back to seated. Bringing fingertips out to the side, inhaling, reaching up. Clasping palms, exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you all for joining me. Namaste.